Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and a new beer review. Rodenbach, I'm not quite sure how to say it because I've never heard it pronounced before. It's a brewery out of Roeselare, I guess, not sure, Belgium. This brewery has been around since it looks like 1821. This particular beer doesn't really have a name to it, it's just called Classic or Original, but it's a Flanders Red Ale. Pretty basic really, but most Belgian beers are. Just the big title with some barrels in the background, a little more detail. It is corked and caged, as you can see. On the back of the bottle here, it says Rodenbach is a unique Belgian ale known as Flemish Red Brown Ale. It enjoys a special status in Belgium as a traditional regional product. A mixed fermentation ale, Rodenbach is matured in oak vats, giving this ale a signature sweet-sour taste and complex bouquet akin to fine wines. Easy to digest. It's a blend of a young ale, 75%, and an ale that's matured for 2 years, 25% of that. That's the story I read in the back of that whole top paragraph. As far as I know, this beer is available all year round. I believe this bottle cost me about $10. The ingredients are unknown. Probably Pilsner malt outside that. I can't imagine there's one or two other malts in there. The hops used in this are probably aged, which wouldn't surprise me. As far as it being aged in oak vats, depending on the kind it's used, whiskey, rum, wine, otherwise, could give a grape flavor, could give a whiskey, a rum flavor, sometimes vanilla, a little bit of smokiness, cherry flavor, possibly some dark fruit, sweet and sour. Sweetness from the malt, sourness would be something in the yeast. I don't know if these use Brettanomyces or there's a couple others I can't think of. I expect it to be a full body, rich in character and flavor, 5.2% alcohol. I don't know the IBUs. I don't recall ever having a Flemish red or brown ale. That's one style I'm actually not familiar with. There's some characteristic to a brown ale that I haven't ever been able to pinpoint if it's real bready characteristic or what it is. A red ale tends to be very much on the maltier side and maybe a little bit of chewiness, maybe a little bit of sweetness, but definitely malty. Color-wise, I would say it's going to be a reddish brown like they say, so a deeper color. Shouldn't be hoppy at all. What you see down there in the corner section is what I'm seeing. So it makes me think of a deep red, like a wine color. A little bit cloudy, thin foam. It's died down to pretty much nothing. There's no sediment that I could tell in it. Love that purplish red tint. I get some winey notes, as I said. A little bit grape, a little bit of alcohol in there. But the alcohol is really subdued. It smells like a wine to me, even though it's an ale. I'm thinking of like a red wine. There's no like vanilla or dark fruit notes, anything like that would come from the barrel aging. I think they aged it in wine barrels. It kind of opens up my mouth, but it's just a very light coating. Grapes and wine notes. Very light, gentle, very soft, and then it dies off and doesn't leave much residual taste. They said sweet and sour. I don't really get that. I get grape notes. Light, maybe medium body. Notes of grape, like a red grape, red apple. Definitely wine characteristics. This does not make me think of beer at all. I'm not noticing any oak features. Vanilla, cherry, smokiness, any dark fruit. I don't get anything like that. No hop presence, no hop bite whatsoever. It kind of makes me think just a tiny bit of a lambic, except that one has a little more sour to it. I was expecting this to be a very malty and maybe a little bit of a sweet, more of a sweetness, but no, not at all. It just has a very unique wine taste to it that I don't think I've ever had this noticeable from a beer before. Not spicy, there's no bread or malt or biscuit or grain character. I could see somebody gets a little bit of sweetness that is very light, no fruity, coffee, toffee, caramel, nothing like that. No citrus. No tangy notes, nothing earthy or pine-like. It tastes like a carbonated wine, which I think would be champagne. It's pretty thin, a little bit watery. There's not much complexity to this. The recipe, I'm sure, is basic. Even though it's a Belgian beer, nothing about this has that Belgian characteristic. It's not bad, it's just not what I thought it was. This all opened up my mouth, covered everything, and died down pretty quickly. Some sweet, mostly sour. Still that same grape, maybe apple and pear. Light, maybe medium body. It's still painting my mouth with those notes of grape and a little bit of sour and light fruit. I still don't get any notes of oak, licorice, cherry, dark fruits of the oak that I would anticipate. Not hoppy at all, no bitterness. Still no toffee, caramel, roasted, toasted, spicy bread biscuit, citrus, tangy notes, none of that stuff. More grape than anything else in here. So yeah, it tastes like the wine. I still don't get any Belgian notes, any yeast characteristics out of the bottle. There's just none there. The primary difference between the bottle and the glass is the sweet and sour is more noticeable now. There are no off flavors I can tell. The bottle has not been skunked. There's no diacetyl. There's no stringency, fusel alcohols, DMS, not cidery, no chemical. Anything else off my usual list, it does not taste compromised in any way. Would I buy this again? No, I wouldn't. It's not bad, but I'm just not a really big fan of those wine flavors. Would I recommend it? Actually, I would. Not bad, just not to my taste, but you might like it. They lived up to the name okay, except for the oak aging. For all the Belgian beers I've had, this is below average. Just not impressive, but that doesn't make it bad, just wasn't to my taste. Rodenbach, I'm not sure how you say it. It's a Flemish red brown, and it's aged in oak vats. If you have any comments, feedback, want to talk about this beer or any other beer, send me a message. That's all for this review. Cheers. If there is any sweet and sour, okay. I know these aren't supposed to be drank from the bottle, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it again.